Yo, what's going on, Blackest fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. Man, really excited to get back into some Marlon Craft. I wanted to check out some of his newer stuff because I feel like anytime I pull up a song or people reference songs, they're like, yo, check this out. I check it out. I'm like, damn, that song's from 2011, right? A lot's happened in the world since then. So I'd like to just get something about from their newer perspective. But we got a nice lineup here. I've been trying to do one of those really, like a really in-depth artist like Lupe Fiasco or like Aesop Rock and do one of those. And it takes an hour, sometimes 2 hours plus to do one of those videos and then do some of the other shorter videos. But that's why I like Marlon Craft because he has a lot to say and there's a lot of substance. But it also doesn't take long for him to get there, right? There's no hidden meanings. Well, there's a lot of wordplay, and he's very lyrical, but it's not something that takes 2 hours to process typically. But yo, really excited about this one. This is 2020 intro lyrics. I imagine this was the start of 2020. Or I don't know. I guess this could have been in 2021 and kind of talking about the past. I don't really know his album, so I don't know is this an album intro or a song intro, but let's check it out together, right? I'm going to put my thinking cap on. Let's get right into it. It looks like he's in a slump. No, it looks like he's actually under a building, right? These are building posts, almost like what you would see in a basement or so. But it looks like he's under something, not a viaduct or so, but it looks like a building structure of some sort. Dude, he looks lit as hell. I don't know if he's high or on what. But he's just chilling. Like it looks like he just got melted on that bad boy, right?
Fuck all that patient shit, they wanna argue. I ain't take the bait for shit, this ain't art school. Fuck your little highbrow critique for I bow.
He said this ain't art school. I don't know exactly what he means by then, but he said, fuck all the patient shit, right? When you talk about somebody being patient, there could be a play, right? He's talking about 2020s. He's talking about 2020. There could be a play on patient. It was obviously with COVID, but he's talking about people arguing. He said, I didn't take the bait for shit. This ain't art school. What do you say? Fuck your little highbrow critique. There's been a lot of talk over the years that art school is not worth anything because whether or not you make it as an artist doesn't really depend on the school you went to unless it's like a very high-end school. Right, if you're just an everyday person that loves art, you love fashion, you still have to kind of make your mark. You have to be an intern. You have to kind of get in where you fit in. But a lot of people, unfortunately, they go to these cheap, no-name online art schools, and it's really just clickbait. I mean, you might get a degree, but you more than likely leave there with a ton of student loans. And, a company like Full Sail, right, is one of those that you see all the time. I used to own a marketing company. We did commercial web design. We did some graphic design, a lot of SEO and online marketing services. And none of us, we didn't have a degree. We didn't get a degree in graphic design to do it. How did we do it? We just fucking did it, right? We created a company. We started reaching out to businesses, started discussing their websites. After we did a couple sites at a discount, we had a nice little portfolio. We started reaching out to other companies, offering different incentives, communicating, building a database, social media marketing, establishing ourselves online, great reviews, reinforcing, people giving reinforcement or for people to leave reviews, right? But we built a company that way. And, art schools are expensive. They're normally out of reach. And come on, let's be honest. State school programs and some of these online schools, there's no real value, right? What's their value proposition, right? What are they going to do for you? Because a lot of them say, within 6 to 72 months, you'll probably have a job relating to art or looking at art, and it's like, that's so vague, right? But he said people want to argue. What are people arguing about in 2020? Man, all that good shit, right? He said, I ain't patient, right? They want to argue. I ain't take the bait for shit. They say at art school, but also art is left up to the person that's designed it, right? A lot of people will debate what art is about or what art means. He said, "Fuck your little highbrow critique," right? I don't want your critique either way on something I'm doing, right? And that's just sick. And I always remember when I talk about somebody critiquing someone, I always remember something. I had a really wise uncle that helped raise me. His name was Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy, and he used to always tell me that don't ask for advice on how to buy a Land Rover, right, from somebody that only drives a Corolla. And you can use different, you can insert your favorite thing and what others aren't doing, but basically don't listen. You got to be careful where you get advice from, because a lot of these people aren't doing good in their own life, right? In their own life. What does J. Cole say? Oh, you acting woke, but you broke, huh? Right? Like, okay, yeah, I'm doing some things right. You're doing some things right. The answer's probably somewhere in the middle, but you ain't shit, motherfucker. Shit.
Feet ain't walked down my street, never. This ain't our school. Fuck your little highbrow critique for I bow. The feet ain't walked down my street, never. Been it, that's the way it is, type of dude. Fuck that, I'ma tell you how
he said, yo, you ain't never walked down the street as me, right? What did he say? He said, before I bow in defeat, you ain't never walked down my street, right? I'm not bowing down to you. You've never walked a mile in my shoes.
Bait for shit, this ain't our school. Fuck your little highbrow critique for I bow. The feet ain't walked down my street, never. Been it, that's the way it is, type of dude. Fuck that, I'ma tell you how it is, type of rule. Bust that, type of moves, light a fuse to bring light to that type of bruise. So deep under people's skin, we could only feel it, but we can't see it. Like these dudes only type.
Yo, that's so sick. He said bust a move, right? If you want it, you got it. You want it, baby, we got it. Yo, bust a move. Wait. Then hello. She says hello. Come sit next to me, you fine fella. The different dudes and next to just bust a move. Nailed it, right? But a bust a move. That actually wasn't a lot of people remember that Young MC song, but they don't remember that in 1986 there was a little group called Beastie Boys, right? They had a song called Posse in Effect. MCA says what? Pay attention. My intention is to bust a move, right? So bust a move's been around in hip hop for a while, but I like what he's saying. He says never been. What do you say? Never been the type the that's the way it is type of dude. Fuck that. I'm gonna tell you how it is type of rude, right? I love the wordplay there because it's like, yo, I don't gotta bow down to you, yo. I'm gonna tell you like it is, right? It's that what do we call it in the hood? Shout out to Kings of Comedy. He said we call it the wish factor. I wish a motherfucker would be in my seat, right? When they talk about what does he say? He says the difference between white people and black people. He said the white people, they go to a concert or a comedy venue or whatever, and they're like, come on, we got to get there. We're going to be late, right? What if somebody's in our seat? And he said, man, it's a different type of creed. We live by the wish factor, right? All the money I paid on these seats, I wish a motherfucker would be in my seats. So it sounds like Marlon Cross got a little bit, that New York in him, right? He's like, yo, I never been away to, that's the way it is. I'm going to tell you how it is type of rude, right? I wish a motherfucker would be in my seat. I'm going to tell you, hey, bro, that one right there, yeah, you're going to have to get up out of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's my turn, motherfucker, right?
They can't be it and bust that type of moves, light a fuse to bring light to that type of bruise. So deep under people's skin, we could only feel it, but we can't see it. Like these dudes only type.
Yo, like he said light a fuse to bring light to that type of bruise, right? It sounds like he's talking about highlighting problems or shining a light on the source of issues. And what does he say? He's kind of pointing to his rib, right? He's showing his rib cage. He said it's so deep under, people are scared. When you say it's so deep under, you could say like, you have to go so deep to address the root of a problem, right? It's normally something that if you weren't born with, you were trained to think that way. But he says we can only feel it. We can't see it, right? If someone's discriminating or so, despite what everybody says, it's normally not it's normally very subtle, right? When you're discriminated on, you can't see it, but you damn sure know it's happening. You can feel it. And it happens around the world. So I don't know if he's necessarily talking about discrimination, But it definitely sounds that's one of the interpretations it could be. Let's run it back.
You hide this type of rule, bust that type of moves, light a fuse to bring light to that type of bruise. So deep under people's skin, we could only feel it, so we can't see it. A lot of these dudes only type it, they can't be it. Can't be in any mirror region, fuck with can't be.
Yo, I love what he said right there. He said a lot of dudes only type it, they can't be it, right? These are what we call internet thugs, right? What did when Meek Mill was beefing with Drake, what did he say? No, Drake said, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers, right? That means that, these are internet thugs. And you're saying, you're such a thug, or you start talking about shooting and all these things that you do, but really all we see you do is just put things on Twitter. You old Twitter fingers, bro. You're an internet thug. You ain't shit.
Beat them when they can't see them on it, but people's skin, we could only feel it, but we can't see it. A lot of these dudes only type it, they can't be it. Can't be in any mirror region, fuck with can't be, and can't beat them when they can't see them on that freedom man being. Yeah, and I barely proper trust that I beat Diddy on any care lingo. Keep with me, many did a thing so right. They go, keep with me, many did it. Fuck with can't be and can't beat them when they can't see them on that freedom man being. Yeah, and I barely proper trust that I beat Diddy on any care lingo. Keep with me, many did a thing so right with the blood of fakes though.
Yeah, that went over my head. I don't know what he said. I think he said, I barely puff, but trust. Right, so I'm thinking I barely puff. Yeah, it could be wordplay on P. Diddy, because he says Diddy. But I barely puff could be him talking about, I barely smoke, but trust that I beat Diddy on any care lingo, right? What's lingo or linguistics, right? Or just wordplay. It could be that, right? I barely puff, but trust I beat Diddy on any care lingo. I care more and I could prove it. I'm better with the wordplay than Diddy, right? But he does that kind of like hook shot type deal. It makes me think I got it wrong.
See them on that freedom man being, yeah. And I barely proper trust that I beat Diddy on any care lingo. Keep with me many.
Right, it looked like he was almost dunking or like throwing a oop or something.
And I barely proper trust that I beat Diddy on any care lingo. Keep with me many did it.
I beat Diddy on any care lingo. Yeah, let me know in the comment section if you got an interpretation of that. I thought I was on point with I barely puff, right? So I could beat Diddy on any care lingo, on how deep I care, on matters that care, things like that. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
Think so right with the blood of fakes though, and it's been any care lingo. Keep with me, many did a think so right with the blood of fakes though, and it's very rare to ink low. But honestly, fuck a rap.
The wordplay there, right? He said, keep with me, right? Like, keep up with me. He said, many dare to think so. And it's funny because, I'm over here trying to keep up with him. And he's just lost me on Diddy and care lingo. And I'm like, now it's going to bother me, right? But let me know in the comment section if you guys think you know what it means or a different interpretation or can help with that breakdown. Then he says, keep with me, many dare to think so. Right with the blood of fakes, though. Right? What is he doing? Is he murdering the fake people and he's writing lyrics with their blood? Sick, right? But he said it's very rare, the ink low. So it's very rare, like playing on a rare blood type. What is that? Like AB negative, I think is the rarest, right? I'm not an expert on that, but, playing with like a rare blood type, but also saying it's rare that the ink is low, as in, it's very rare that he doesn't have something to say, right? He always has something to say. He never runs out of things. But love the wordplay on the rare blood types.
Rap compliment, though, and it's very rare to ink low. But honestly, fuck a rap compliment. What the fuck's a bar to a prophet, bitch? What the fuck's a threat?
He said, what the fuck is a bar to a prophet? It's like, I'm a prophet, bitch. I see it coming. I don't give a fuck about your bars. It kind of reminds me of what was that? Lil Wayne and a Millie, right? What good is a goon to a goblin, right? And he's just like what he's saying, like, yo, I'm a prophet, bitch. Fuck your bars.
A rap compliment. What the fuck's a bar to a prophet, bitch? What the fuck's a threat to the option list? I need this shit to breathe and I got to live.
Yo, he said, yo, when you back someone in a corner, right, where they don't have any other options, what the fuck good is a threat? They're already going to do the most that they can because they have no other choice, right? He said, yo, I need this shit, right? I need this shit to breathe and I got to live. Like, I got to do it with or without you. So what the fuck is a threat, right? I don't have an option either way.
What the fuck's a threat to the option list? I need this shit to breathe and I got to live. Think the time is yours, cause online is yours. That's what you're grinding for. Watch when we cut the net like the final four. I bet you don't got the chest.
Yo, did he just switch outfits on that? Just that little, look at that. Ooh.
That's what you're grinding for. Watch when we cut the net like the final four. I bet you don't got the chest.
Yo, he did that so smooth, right? But I like, he's talking about people, again, they're internet thugs, right? He's saying, you know, that because online is yours, like almost like, I think it's Scarface, right? When you see the blimp that says the world is yours, right? He said, no, for them, it's online is yours. He's like, that's what you're grinding for? That's what it means? That's what it takes to you? He said, watch when we cut the net like the Final Four, right? When the winning team cuts the net and they get to keep the net to remember that game forever. But it's a play on cutting the internet, right? It won't be good for the internet thugs if you don't got a set to bang, right? You don't have a set anymore, the internet set. Set is like your hood, right? When you're a gangbanger, you're no longer an internet thug. You're as good as eliminated when he cuts the net, right?
That's what you're grinding for. Watch when we cut the net like the final four. I bet you don't got the chest to back that lion's raw pussy. Yeah. Push me, I promise. I'm used to stress. All I could be is honest.
Yo, again, he caught him in the dumb stance, right? But he said, he said, I bet you don't got the chest to back that lion's roar, right? Right? No, the roar. What is J. Cole saying in that freestyle before he got really famous? He said, you claim you're a beast, but y'all ain't growling, right? Claim you're a wolf, but y'all ain't howling, right? It's basically saying like you're all bark and no bite, right? A chihuahua barks the most, but because it can do the least. So, you know, he's like, yo, you know, you don't got the chest, you don't got the heart to back up what you're talking about, right? Sick.
Watch when we cut the net like the final four. I bet you don't got the chest to back that lion's raw pussy. Yeah. Push me, I promise.
Yo, that again, bro, that's that wish factor, right? I wish a motherfucker would push me. Right? Fuck around and find out. Right? He said, yo, push me, I promise, right? Promise. Wish you would. Fuck around and find out, bro.
Hey, you don't got the chest to back that lion's raw pussy. Yeah. Push me, I promise. I'm used to stress, all I could be is honest. I used to fret that I couldn't even keep conscious. Thanks to my weakness, I could be the strongest out.
You know, when you say fret, you don't really hear that a lot, right? That's about being constantly or visibly worried or anxious. Like, don't fret, right? So he says, I used to fret. All I could be is honest. Maybe he used to be worried about that, right? He can't lie and cheat to come up. But, you know, he said, I used to fret that I couldn't even keep conscious, right? Like conscious rap, you could think.
Situation getting critical. Thanks to my weakness, I could be the strongest out. Situation keep conscious. Thanks to my weakness, I could be the strongest out. Situation getting critical. Stop playing with me this year, man.
Situation game. Is that the game Situations he's talking about? Do you guys ever hear of that? Maybe not. I'll listen a little bit more to hear context.
I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not playing no fucking games this year. Don't look at me no type of way. Don't fucking subtweet me. Whatever you want to do.
Right? He might be. He said situation game critical. Right? He could be talking about a game like the NCAA, right? Like the Final Four. But situations. It's a game where you know, you play with your friends, right, your family, whatever, and you have to construct the situation of a story together. It takes turns. You can add different people, places, things, events, but each player has to write a story, and it's being interpreted by the web of relationships that was just created, right? It's a way for you to be creative with your friends. But a lot of people, like I've done some, writing a little spoken word here and there, but it's a way to like stimulate ideas, right? Like brainstorming, because you're coming up with some bizarre off the wall ass shit, right? But like the game is called Situations, but it does tie into this web of relationships, which might relate to the web that he's talking about, like in the internet thugs, right? And that sort of thing. Like you're constructing your own reality. So it's, look it up when you guys get a chance. The game is called Situations.
This year, don't look at me no type of way. Don't fucking subtweet me. Whatever you want to do, don't do shit this year. Look.
He said, "Don't subtweet me." That's a lot of people. If you're not really that familiar with Twitter, I don't use Twitter. Also, I reserved all the names for Blackish University, but very rare. I use Instagram. I'm going to put together a Facebook page for I have one that I used to really just use for Marketplace, but I'm going to put it together for Blackish University because, man, we're approaching 700 subscribers, and it's only growing. And, man, I get comments like, yo, check this out. And I'm like, yeah, word, I'll do it. Then the next day I come, and it's like, what was that song, right? And it's just hard to go back and look, and it's hard to get to everybody, too. So maybe with social media, it's another way that we can interact and go over different things. So that could be pretty cool. Oh, but I didn't even define subtweet, right? It's from Twitter. It's normally a post that it's about somebody, but it doesn't directly say that, right? It's normally criticism of some sort, but like, you might, beat around the bush if you would. I actually got into it with someone. I was actually exploring a church, a Christian church, and I brought a girl there that I was dating. And the next day, the deacon posted something online, and I was like, is that motherfucker talking about me? And I was like, nah, he can't be talking about me. It's in my mind, right? It's in my head. Then the next day, I saw something else, and I was like, eh. And then somebody else hit me up, like, yo, B, you and oh boy cool? I'm like, I don't know. I just started going to this church. I brought a girl with me we were starting to get a little bit more serious at the time. And this dude's talking about people that aren't worthy of God and not worthy of your time. And I had to hit up the man and be like, hey, bro, what does Biggie say? Like, make my name taste like ass when you speak it, right? Like, and I had to check this dude at a church. And it's like, bro, I'm here trying to build on my faith and explore God. And now you got me over here about to prove how I earned my stripes in Chicago. I don't play that shit, man. But that was, kind of a version of a subtweet. It wasn't on Twitter, but somebody saying something about you without directly mentioning you, but it's about you, right?
Tell y'all, I'm not playing no fucking games this year. Don't look at me no type of way. Don't fucking subtweet me. Whatever you want to do, don't do shit this year. I'm no stranger to anger and rage, getting named in my head by lane.
You got the Sandlot shirt. You're killing me, Smalls, right?
They got some fame, but they so insecure that they keep themselves locked away. And I get the.
What do you say? I'm no stranger to anger and rage, getting aimed at my head by a lame. Right? Again, some internet thugger. Bro, look at the pose we caught him in. He just looks like some unassuming white dude going to Whole Foods, right? I should actually take a screenshot of this, and then I can actually, alter it, do some Photoshop, and I can have him, maybe bringing some something to the barbecue, right? Or something funny that we can do with this, man. That would actually be hilarious.
Be the real me, all up in their proximity. Who the one that got you shake head violate? Cause they names got some fame, but they so insecure that they keep themselves locked away. And I get to be the real me, all up in their proximity.
Okay, so he's talking about dudes that are lame and might be coming after his head, right? He said getting aimed at my head by a lame, right? Just because their name got some fame, so they're famous for something, right? But they're still insecure, and they keep themselves locked away or protected by bodyguards, right? He said, I get to be the real me, all messed up in their proximity, right? In their proximity, you're close to them.
Bulldogs locked away, and I get to be the real me, all up in their proximity. Who the one that got you stressed? Lil me? Stop throwing stones before you get the boot word to Sicily. I'm making jazz cats listen.
Listen to the wordplay, bro. He said, what you guys? You got your panties you got your panties all twisted up. He said, who's causing that? Little old me? And he did the whole crybaby thing, right? Treated their life. What did he say? Stop throwing stones. What did they say? Don't throw stones in a glass house, right? He said, stop throwing stones before you get the boot. Getting the boot means you're kicking someone out, or it could be a foot up your ass, right? He said, word to Sicily. Why? Because the Italian mainland, it's a long peninsula, but if you look at it on a globe or on a map, it's in the shape it resembles a boot, right? Yo, that's just awesome wordplay. I don't know if everybody's catching that right there.
Me, stop throwing stones before you get the boot word to Sicily. I make the jazz cats listen to raps. I make the hood kids listen to sax. I make the white dudes understand which thoughts they pull out their ass. I got everybody giving me that. Craft never speak to just one old faction. That picture is incomplete. That's
wait, I gotta break it down, right? He's talking. We know that what was his dad that was in a jazz band, right? An instrumental. We hear saxophone, a lot of his music, right? He said, I make the jazz cats listen to rap. I make the hood kids listen to sax, right? I'm the best of both worlds to both people, right? He said, I got everyone giving me dap. That's like, yo, what up, word fam, what up, man, right? Everybody recognizes Marlon Craft as the truth, or at least they should, especially those that know hip-hop, know that this is authentic. And, I don't know, he labeled this 2020 intro. I don't know if this is an intro to a song or an album, but, this intro is better than a lot of dudes' real hip-hop songs, right? They're, what do they call it, when you put out, like, your single? At least they used to. This intro is better than a lot of dudes' actual work that they're putting out and showing as their work. That says a lot.
Sex, I make the white dudes understand which thoughts they pull out their ass. I got everybody giving me that. Craft never speak to just one old faction.
A faction is like a group of people. It's probably the simplest way to understand a faction. You look at movies and they normally talk about one faction against the next. It's like a group of people that identify a certain type of way, but it also correlates with what he just said, right? About he makes different groups of people explore other groups of people and other things that they might not necessarily be into.
Pictures incomplete, that's a demographic. Yes, the whole team, but
bro, that's so sick. Listen to what he said, right? He just broke down. He said the picture's incomplete, right? That's a demo, but a demographic, right? A graphic being the picture. But we were just talking about how he identifies different groups and he's different things to different people. Those different people, those different groups, those are called demographics, right? But his wordplay on demographics, like the picture's incomplete, demographic. Bro, who's writing like that right now, right? And not in a very dense type of hidden meaning way, but just putting it out there like, let me see if they got this. Oh, you almost had it, right? You remember that commercial, the Geico commercial? He's got the dollar bill on the fishing line. Oh, you almost had it. That's how it should be, breaking down his bars. Whoop, you think you had it? Not that one, right? Love it.
By the beat and no backwards. One picture is incomplete, that's a demographic. Yes, the whole team by the beat and no backwards. Won't stop till the whole scene
is on, right? It's about to be on. My team's about to be on.
No actors. The music gonna eventually bring me power. Word to 50. Won't stop till the whole scene except no actors. The music gonna eventually bring me power. Word to 50. If I'm the chosen.
Won't stop till the whole scene except no actors, right? But he just played on no backwards about the team being on. Yo, that's sick. And then it sounded like he just said reference power, word to 50, 50 cents show power, right? And actors and acting.
The whole scene except no actors. The music gonna eventually bring me power, word to 50. If I'm the chosen one, it's only cause I picked me. Let a label manager or agent try to Taylor Swift me. I have a custom grade Taylor Swiftly, you dig me?
Ooh. Yo, that's it. And look what it says. The end, bitch. But right at the end, he said, let a label, a manager or agent try to Taylor Swift me. right? When somebody, I kind of think of swiper, no swiping, right? But he's not referencing that. He said, I'll have a custom grave tailored swiftly, playing on Taylor Swift, saying you dig me, but also like you dig a grave, right? And he's talking about the drama that happened between Taylor Swift and her management team. I believe the guy's name was Scooter, but there was this huge food. They were having this feud, right? And it was because of the rights to her music. You know, as an independent artist, you own what's called your masters, but not when you work. Well, normally it depends on the agreement that you have, but the masters are the ownership, the legal right to your music. So you can license it, you can profit off it. And her manager owned the rights to her catalog, if you would. And there was a lot of back and forth with that. So he's like, yo, let someone fuck around and try to Taylor Swift me, right? Using it as a verb. But also it's the person, place, or thing, right? The noun Taylor Swift, the wordplay. And again, tailored swiftly, grave, dig me. Bro, if you guys are a fan of intellectual breakdowns, if you're a fan of intellectual music that actually has substance, right? And you like the breakdown, you just like intelligent conversation about what it might mean, man, show some love by liking the video, but also subscribing to the channel. In just 2 months, we've hit about 700 subscribers. We're just under 700 now. We're doing the push to 1,000, and we're only looking to grow the platform. So if you like what we do, love that you guys are checking out the video, but make sure you show some love by subscribing as well. We're definitely going to get into a lot more Marlon Craft, a lot more Toby Wigway, a lot of Nas, J. Cole, Joyner Lucas, Aesop Rock. I just got there's just a ton that's lined up, and people are always feeding me new stuff every day about what to get into. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.